Hi all, this is Don with Through Gamer Goggles. That's gamer-goggles.com. Today we're going to give you another episode of our Figure Forge, where I'll be putting together a Hailstorm cannon from the Forge Fathers. This kit came directly out of the Fate of the Forge Star starter box for the game Warpath by Mantic Games. This is an entirely resin kit. The pieces are relatively clean. There's some mold lines that can and were cleaned up a bit. And the pieces for this one are all very solid and very straight as compared to the Raptor when we built it. So the first step would be, I guess, to get the treads on, which is actually very simple. And they're relatively big pins with relatively big holes. So I'm going to be using the Zap gel this time instead of the liquid. I think this is going to work a little better for us. So I'm going to get just a bit of the gel on each of the attachment points and attach the first set of treads. They pop right into place, and with a little bit of zip kicker they hold real nice. And I'll do the same thing very quickly on the other side. Surely doesn't take much. Pop those into place, and that gives you a stable base upon which to mount the rest of the bits. So the next thing to go together, which is the only semi-complicated bit to this model, is to put the weapon system together. Again, just a bit of glue on the points of contact, and just a little bit of the zip kicker on the other side. This all just pops together and hold it nice and tight. And while you've still got pressure on it, it has a set of flash suppressors that are all one piece that kind of help to bind it together. There are grooves in the side of the flash suppressor right here. Those are to go to the left and right, not up and down. And this piece pops right on, actually. And once it's on there, it gives you a nice, good, solid hold on this end of the piece. And at the other end, you're going to pop on a pair of what look like ammo drums, and they go on just over top of this ridge here. And they're a nice tight fit, so very little glue will be needed. And I don't think I'll even need to use the zip kicker with it, but you just snap them over the sides, and they pop down in nice and tight. And that gives you pressure on this end, and that piece, the primary weapon system, is complete at that point. While I let that dry for just a few seconds, the second set of ammo drums mounts at the rear of the vehicle, right here, where my pinky is. So just a little bit, it's got a nice tight inner groove molded onto the piece. If you look, there's a larger groove where the one on the front mounts, and then this narrow groove is what slips down over the tailpiece on this vehicle. And you just pop that into place, and again, it's not going to need any kind of zip kicker or anything to hold it in place. So the next step, there are two pieces to the front armor plate, and they've got spare treads and so on and so forth molded onto them. The larger of the two has a big pin on the bottom of it, which slips into the top of the gun assembly. The bottom has just a small groove, a small slot right here that slides over the base. It looks like there's a mini dozer blade or some kind of pusher on the front of it, and this will just pop right into here, and it holds itself nice and tight. So a touch of glue there. And for the sake of making my life a little easier, we'll get just a little bit of zip kicker on this other piece, if I can manage. And this piece just pops right into that groove and will hold itself just fine right where it's at. The gun assembly slips onto this disc here. It would allow you for some movement up and down. However, with the way that the guard is set up, there's not a whole lot of room for play. So I'm going to put just a touch of glue to this and go ahead and lock it into position. I'm sure with a set of magnets or a little bit more ingenuity of some kind, you'd be able to make this so that the barrels would rotate up and down. I wasn't comfortable with how that fit, so I'm going to go ahead and pop that onto there, and I'm actually going to allow it to come down to where it's making contact with the bottom plate, just ever so slightly. And the top piece, the pin just pops right in, and you've got some room because of the size of the recess for the pin to move that forward and back. So I'm going to go ahead and get some glue on the end of this. Use a little bit of zip kicker to hold it in place. And drop it right in where it goes. So square that up just a little. And that is the bulk of the construction of this vehicle. The last thing to do is the pilot, his hands rest on the control panel back here. So a little glue on the bottoms of his feet. And I'm going to put just a touch on the bottom of his hands so it'll lock him in at 4 points, which is going to be a nice solid attachment for when I transport. And if you line the hands up the way that they're, what looks to be intentional, it looks like he's holding onto a pair of joysticks to control the vehicle. So there is the Hailstorm cannon for the game Warpath from Mantic Games. Thank you for taking a look at our video. Please visit us again at gamer-goggles.com, and you may also want to take a look at Mantic's website, which is manticgames.com on the web, for what they've got up and coming. They look to be having a third faction that'll be releasing very shortly. They've got information up about what that and an army list and such. So whether you like the Marauders or the Forge Fathers, or whether you want to take a look at their corporation army, which looks to be a human army, mercenary soldiers of some sort, good luck, and I hope that you have enjoyed this video. And the next time that you see this, we'll have the rest of the armies together and probably be looking at starting to break down the rules. Thank you very much.